This begins the matriculation ceremony for the class of 2027.
Thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Steve Smith, and I'm pastor of First Presbyterian Church, which is right here on the campus, where the first president of the college was also the first pastor of the church. I'm glad they split those jobs up. An invocation is defined as an act of calling upon someone or something for assistance, and today we begin with an invocation to summon help and hope for us all. A retired W&J professor, Dr. Robert Vandicapelli, was one of many beloved friends and educators on this campus. Sadly, Bob died this past July. He was a bright, energetic person who will be missed. Dr. Vandicapelli had a saying posted in his office that said this: "As long as there are final exams, there will be prayer in schools." So we can all use a little extra help and hope. Please join me for a moment of reflection and prayer. Gracious God, we gather from many directions. We bring with us diverse backgrounds, customs, and faith traditions. We ask for resources, both measurable and immeasurable, to assist us along the way. In this season of new beginnings, we ask for guidance, counsel, comfort, wisdom, confidence, and courage for the days, weeks, months, and years that lie ahead. We hope and pray that this matriculation service will provide a meaningful rite of passage which anticipates great adventures both on this campus and beyond. May all who participate in this time together both inspire and be inspired as we listen, learn, and grow to make the world a better, brighter place for all. We pray in your holy name, amen.
Thank you, students. You may be seated. Good afternoon, class of 2027. On behalf of everybody at Washington and Jefferson College, I can say that we are exceedingly proud to welcome each one of you now as a full-fledged member of our community of scholars and learners. Congratulations. Let me also welcome the parents and families who are joining us virtually today for this annual rite of passage for our new students. My wife Kelly and I are the parents who've sent 5 children to college, and we understand very well the mix of emotions that many of you parents and family members have felt over these last few days. You may rest assured that the faculty and staff of this community are well prepared to provide all that your student needs for a successful journey to graduation. On a more personal note, Kelly and I want to welcome each of you students. We want you to know that we are eager to get to know you and that you will have many opportunities in the months and days ahead to spend time with us at our home and at many functions here on the campus. As you begin your first year at W&J, we are beginning our last as we prepare for retirement next June. So we will cherish every moment with you and with the students of the college this year. This is our final opportunity to welcome a new class, and your class has special meaning for us for that reason. You should know that this ceremony is one of the 2 most significant events on our college calendar. The other is commencement. Both are about new beginnings and limitless possibilities. Your class can look forward to May 2027, when you will again gather with our faculty and staff and also with your families to celebrate your graduation. Let me take a moment now to recognize a few important people on the platform, in addition to 2 speakers who will be introduced to you more fully in a few minutes. Dr. Jeffrey Frick is our Vice President for Academic Affairs and Dean of the College. He leads our academic program. Dean Eva Chatterjee Sutton, whom I'm sure you've all had a chance to meet by now, is our Dean of Students and Vice President for Student Life, overseeing many important facets of your daily life here on campus. Our invocation was given by the Reverend Dr. Steve Smith of First Presbyterian Church, right next door to the admission house. That church was founded in 1793 and held its first services in our McMillan Hall, which was built that very same year. I also want you to know that our faculty marshal, who opened today's ceremony, is Dr. Michael Crabtree. He's been a distinguished and much-loved professor of this college in the Department of Psychology for 50 years. And finally, let me express my appreciation to the talented musicians who are part of this program, our bagpiper, Heather Orstein, our student vocalists, and our pianist, Dr. Susan Medley, Director of Choral Activities and Professor of Music. Now, what do we know about you, our newest students? Well, there are 362 of you, including 40 transfers. You've come to us from more than 340 secondary schools in 16 states and the District of Columbia, as well as in 10 countries on 5 continents. Those states and nations are represented by the flags above us. It is significant that your class is the most racially and ethnically diverse class ever to matriculate at Washington and Jefferson College, and that 1/3 of you are in your family's first generation to attend college. Your presence enriches our community greatly. You are a group of leaders and high achievers. More than 100 of you have been active volunteers in community organizations. 38 of you are involved in church youth groups. 22 competed on your high school debate team. 9 wrote for your student newspaper. 15 were student body presidents, and 2 are Eagle Scouts. 70% of you have participated in sports, and your class includes 52 musicians, the founder of a nonprofit organization, and 1 set of twins. The most common male name among you is Nick, and for females, it's Emma. It'll be exciting to learn more about all of you and for you to discover new things about one another and especially about yourselves. I know that I speak for all of us in saying again that we are delighted to count you as W&J students. The fact that we are gathered here in formal academic regalia signifies that the college considers this an occasion of singular importance, a tradition ushering in not only a new academic year, but a new journey for each one of you. Your professors who stood behind you as you entered today will continue to stand with you, to guide you and support you, to encourage you and, yes, to challenge you as you work to realize your full God-given potential and discover that you can and you will exceed your own expectations of yourselves. The college's staff, many of whom have joined us here to welcome you, will support your personal growth and well-being in every way possible. I urge you to take the opportunity to develop lasting relationships with these dedicated individuals. They are eager to be your friends, and they also are eager to be your advisors and mentors. Now, it's understandable if some of you feel some anxiety in this time of change and challenge. I know your families do, but I can assure you that a successful and fulfilling experience is well within your reach. Each of you was admitted to W&J because we saw your talent and ability. So take full advantage of the academic resources available to support you. And above all, as I said to you when we met earlier, I guess last week it was, I said you must support each other as well along this journey. And that may be the most important support you find, your classmates and friends that you bond with here at this college. Work diligently in the days ahead to prove to yourselves how much you can accomplish. Start fast. Work hard in the library or the classroom, on the athletic field or the stage, in student leadership or service. Be a friend to your fellow students and take responsibility for fostering a respectful, inclusive, and compassionate campus community. By valuing the many ways that you differ from each other, you will be a model for a world torn apart by political, cultural, and social ideologies and animosities. And even as you participate fully in the life of our college, and I hope that you will, I also hope that you'll make it a priority to care for yourself, to nurture your own spirit, to take time out on a regular basis for personal contemplation and renewal. Students, one of the privileges in my role is the opportunity to work with your very gifted faculty. Our speaker for this annual matriculation ceremony is always the individual voted by the prior year's graduating class as their most outstanding professor. In other words, the class of 2023 chose today's speaker to welcome you to the college that they now call their alma mater. It's a personal pleasure then this afternoon for me to introduce you to that very special professor, Dr. Jenny Klein, W&J's Lemoyne Professor of Mathematics. The graduating senior who introduced her at last spring's commencement exercises said, "Dr. Klein never ceases to bring a light into her classrooms, making all the stresses of college a little better for an hour and 10 minutes with her jokes and relatability. She always provides a positive perspective that makes things just a little better." Many of us have had the aha moments in her classroom where everything clicks. And that shows just how hard she works to make sure that we all learn to the very best of our ability. She shows us how much she cares about every student's well-being and makes an impact that extends well beyond the classroom. One of her faculty colleagues told me, "Dr. Klein is a superb educator. Beyond the content she needs to cover, she manages to hook student interest by creating problems that have a twist, so there's an element of discovery. Students seem to appreciate the serendipitous aspect of her teaching style and are pleasantly surprised that it occurs in, of all things, a mathematics course. One of her favorite YouTube clips is Donald Duck in Mathemagic Land. She even made me watch it. I think she plays the cartoon for every class that she teaches." And on a more personal note, Dr. Klein loves music. She sings with the Pittsburgh Concert Chorale. She's also an avid cyclist, has completed several segments of the Tour de France. And a little known fact, she was a very accomplished bodybuilder in college. You will soon see why last year's graduates chose Dr. Jenny Klein to speak to you today. Students, please welcome your professor.
My goodness, that's a little bit like your own eulogy. How did you find out about that I'm a gym rat? You've got your ways, goodness. Oh man, well somebody ratted me out. I'm gonna have to find that out. I think I broke this. Hi, how y'all doing? How is everybody? Happy first day of class eve. You're welcome, or as I like to call it, yee! Is that how you're feeling? I know, we're all feeling that way today. Before we get going, I would like to ask you a favor, though. If you brought your cell phone, would you kindly do this with me? Take your cell phone. Hold it in front of you. Admire its sleek beauty. Real quick, check your messages. Go ahead, do it. You know you want to. All right. Hold it out in front of you. Turn it face down and put it on the floor. Nicely done. Nicely done. I appreciate the trust. I'm touched that some of my colleagues back there are doing it too. What I want you to do is I want you to just take a second and make a memory of what you're doing right now. Just listen to the room. Think about who's next to you. Look around. Now, I don't know about you, but I was doing that here as we were coming in and having our processional. And one thing I noticed, which is a little bit odd, is that we have two different scores on the scoreboards there. Did you notice that? But what I don't like is either way, the guests have won, and it should be the home team. So I do want to give some thanks to the class of 2023 who selected me for this award that then gives me this microphone that I get to hang out with you guys. I was really, really, really touched. And I'm a little bit speechless. And I know the class of 2023 was invited to watch via the live stream. So let's just say that. So I was told that I would have some time to say a few words to you, and somehow I misheard that as F words. So that is exactly what I have. I have a handful. Good. Well, it's going to work. Some F words for new students. Okay, the first thing I want to tell you is, the first F word is forget. I want you to forget what you think you know. I don't like that thing. I want you to forget what you think you know about what this experience is going to be like, or what other people have told you this experience is going to be like. Because no matter what happens, it's going to be different from that. Some of you have moved in earlier. You're on a sports team. Maybe you play football. Maybe you play soccer, tennis. I don't know who else is all here early. And you probably have noticed that even though it's still, let's just take football. It's an F word. And I love football. So you've been going to practice. There's still a football there. It's still practice. There's still drills. But it's different. Coach is different. The field is different. It feels a little bit kind of funky and off. Have you noticed that? Yes? No? Now somebody admitted, I don't know who that was. That's great. So the same thing's going to happen to you tomorrow when you start your classes. There's going to be classrooms. There's going to be people like us. We probably won't be wearing these tomorrow. There's going to be assignments, but it's going to be different. It's going to seem a little bit new and strange. And it should. Don't let that scare you. That's part of the deal. Some of you, it's going to take 6 hours to adjust to this new situation. Some of you, it's going to take 6 weeks. Some of you, it might take 6 months. It might take more. There's no timetable for that. So don't let that worry you. It just is. It's just a thing. I also want you to forget a little bit about what you think your major is right now. Yes, I know you're supposed to have either a double major or a major and a minor, and there's all this stuff, and it looks like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, I don't know what my major is, or I do know what my major is. Forget it. Forget it. Throw it out the window. Because if you let it, your major will solve itself. I'll tell you, when I started college back in 1982, that's hard to say, I had no idea what my major was going to be. I was like, oh my God. It was first day of class eve, and I was talking to my older sister. I'm like, oh my God, what did I get myself into? I don't know how to study. I don't know what to do. And all this stuff. And she is a great big sister. Shout out to her. She's at work today, but she's going to watch it later. She said, listen, don't worry about it. Here's what you need to do. When you get an A in something, take more. It means you've got some talent, you've got some aptitude that you didn't know you had. When you find a class you love, take more. You'll kind of gradually find yourself navigating to the things that you're good at and that you're interested in. I didn't declare my major until my junior year, but I did take her advice and I still graduated on time, which was fantastic. I didn't get all A's, but I fell in love with the study of math. I loved how it absolutely tied my brains into knots, and then I had to use the best parts of my problem solving to try and undo it. I hate numbers, but I love functions. Those y equals f of x things. They're not even numbers. I know, that's what makes me love them the most. It's so great. And my hope for you is that you all find something like, right now, I'm like, oh my God, math, let's do some math. I want you to find that thing. It's not gonna happen overnight, and it might change from what you think it is today, and that's okay. It's totally okay. I will tell you that the study of math taught me a lot about your next F word, which is focus. What worked for me as a student was to think about my classes like a 9-to-5 job. I didn't necessarily keep 9 to 5 hours on it, but I tried to I thought about it as work. I was on an academic scholarship at my school, and I had to keep a certain GPA in order to keep my money. So I thought, okay, this is my job. I need to approach this like it is my job. So I learned how to work, like even now, my work right now, it's great. It pays the bills, it puts a roof over my head, but as Dr. Knapp and some other faculty members have outed me out, I am a total gym rat. You'll find me every Tuesday night singing with that lady back there in the corner. She's fabulous, the Divine Dr. Medley in the Pittsburgh Concert Chorale. Work is not my whole life, but I've learned that the way to get at it is to be 100% committed to the job at hand when it's time to do that job, and then move on. You want to work efficiently and you want to work effectively, but you don't want to work to exhaustion. The tighter you get, the worser your work is. And I'm sorry, as you can tell, I'm sort of like, the words are over here and I'm wandering around all over the place. We'll get there eventually. Again, speaking about that focus, the other thing about it is that what you may have brought with you, how many high schools, Dr. Knapp? 340? 340. How many? All right, that's a lot of different high schools with a lot of different expectations. And now you're all moving into this one place. So be thinking about the fact that maybe your high school prepared you really well. Maybe it didn't. But what I do want to tell you is it's going to be a lot easier to deal with this semester if you come out of the gate hard towards those classes. It's going to be a lot easier to slow up than it is going to be to have to try and pick up the pace about, half of the way through. So if you're not sure what you should be doing, ask your boss. Who's your boss? So good, I love you. That's so great. Yeah, ask your boss. Who's your boss? Who's going to be your boss? Who's your FYS instructor? That's your boss. That's one of your bosses. How many bosses do you have this semester? 4. Some of you may have, 3 or 4. Talk to us. When you don't know, think about any of you had jobs before you got here? Get some cash money for things you did? Did you love your boss? Same thing's going to happen here. Sometimes you're going to like really groove with the kind of thing that we're doing with you, and sometimes you're not. But you only have to deal with us for 13 weeks. Okay, so, the point still stands though. Talk to us about what our expectations are of you. We will tell you these things. Sorry? We may not tell it to you in exactly the way that you're used to hearing it from your high school days, but we will tell it to you. And we are more than happy to sit down and talk with you about what you need to be doing on a day-to-day basis, on a weekly basis, whatever, to be successful in our courses. So we're one of your F words too, faculty, because we are going to be functioning in part as your bosses over these next 13 weeks. But we're more than that. Those of us who are here today in cap and gown are here because we really, really geek out on working with students. Like, there is nothing better to us than geeking out with you and hearing what you think about our subject. I love to worship at the holy mountain of mathematics with you fellow students. Like, there is nothing more fun than that. So we want you to come to our offices. We want you to be talking with us about what your hopes and dreams are, because there's nothing we love better than helping you build the platform that you're eventually going to fly from in 4 years. Each one of you has a faculty member who will be serving as your academic advisor. If you're a first-year student, that person is your FYS instructor. And as your academic advisors, we are here to help you think about your 4-year academic journey. The W&J course of study is grounded in the liberal arts. That has nothing to do with political leanings. It has everything to do with love of learning and learning for learning's sake. So I can tell you that when I was a student, I had absolute best time in my life when I took differential equations. Great class. Matrix theory, topology, But I also took some other really cool stuff that were for that liberal arts tradition. I took the Bible as literature. I took training and conditioning of the Olympic athlete. I actually was a guinea pig in a training study by some exercise physiology grad students. That's how I got my science credit. That involved them taking muscle samples from our legs and making us run a lot and stuff like that. And it was so incredibly fun. I know, it was great. I learned a lot of stuff about it. So what I want you to think about here as you are coming into this academic amusement park is that everything counts. Everything you do is going to count. It's going to matter. Your major, it's going to solve itself. Very few classes are really like completely earmarked and very narrow towards your major. So of the 32 courses that you're going to take for graduation here, you're actually going to do more of the stuff classes than whatever your major is. So those are great opportunities. You can learn some really cool stuff that then you can talk intelligently with other people about, because that's what we all do all the time. You can learn how to deal with and decode a boss, and you're only doing it for 13 weeks. So it gives you some valuable information about yourself and the different kinds of things that you love and that you might want to study more. Everything that you do around the classroom counts too. Your work study, that counts. Volunteering in the local community, that counts. These are really powerful experiences that are going to help focus in that future that you're going to be headed for. So gather experiences. It's very important. What were the F words you thought I was going to talk about? Don't say them. Don't say them. It's a solemn occasion. You know what you were thinking, right? Failure. Fumble. Foible. Haven't hit it yet? How about what my mom called flubbing the dub? Oh no, I forgot to tell you to put your phones on silent. That was the big mistake, right? You thought I was going to talk about those F words. Guess what? You're going to need those too. That's a category that is a fact of life. Let me tell you a story from my own college experience. It was a math class that I had where the grade was 50% from the midterm and 50% from the final. Sound like fun? Sound like a class you want to take? All right, so I was taking the midterm, and I was flunking the midterm. I knew 100% in the depths of my soul that I was flunking that midterm. And while I took that midterm, I was saying to myself, because as I took that midterm, I know, right? That's literally what I said. As I was taking that midterm, every single question on that midterm had been in the homework. And I knew that because the night before the test, I looked over the homework, and I was like, oh yeah, we did that one in class. Oh yeah, I think I know how to do that one. It's gonna be fine, it's gonna be fine. Guess what, it wasn't fine. Spoiler alert, got a PhD, what? I also came out of that class alive. I went to the instructor and said, would you be willing to take my grade completely from the final? And he said, sure, I can give you your F now, I can give you your F later, it doesn't matter to me. I got an A. I got an A. Hardest thing thank you. Hardest thing I've ever done, short of benching more than my body weight. Hardest thing I've ever done. But it really taught me a lot about facing a challenge. Coming up against a wall that I had in part built myself. That is truth when you have the F words. Sometimes you have a role in it, sometimes you don't. But I learned a lot about myself through that. So here's what I want you to do this semester. I want you to ask your instructors, ask your coaches, ask your work study supervisor, what was their big foible? What else did I say? Pick your F word, put it in there. What was the thing that they did, and what did they learn about it, and how did they dig themselves out of that hole? I want you to gather those stories, and then at the end of the semester, come on up to Old Main 403, that's my office, and tell me some of these stories. I know a few of them out there. I actually shared one of them with one of my colleagues when we were at Walmart, and we were in the produce aisle. So there are these stories. There are these stories. Now, the last one, the last of the F words. Friends! Friends, let me tell you something. When I knew earlier this summer that I was going to be giving these remarks, I talked to some of my closest friends. I contacted my nieces and nephews and said, dudes, what should I say? What is something that somebody could have said to you on the eve of your college career? I talked to some friends of mine when I was on vacation in San Francisco this summer who are watching today. We have known each other since I started college, which was 1982. So, and we've known each other longer than that. So there's like 50 years more, like I don't even know. You do the math. How many years of friendship were around the elegant box of wine that we were sharing out there? And I asked them, what could somebody have said to you right before college? And they all just kind of blanked, because when you get to this point in life, the starting college is kind of in the rearview mirror. So eventually this is going to feel more normal and be that memory that I asked you to make. But let me tell you what was important about that conversation. It was the fact that we do have that many years of friendship around each other. We've known each other through iteration after iteration after iteration of ourselves, and supported each other, challenged each other. Those friendships don't happen overnight, but do spend the time here to really make a friend and keep that friendship going. So I want you to look around this room again. Look around this room again. A best friend may be here. A business partner may be here. A close professional mentor may be here. But you'll only know if you take the time to find them. So I release you to your cell phones. Use them for good and not for evil. Have a great day tomorrow. It's showtime.
What did I tell you? Even I could enjoy taking a math class from Dr. Klein. She's done something to the microphone stand here. She put it to good use, though, didn't she? Well, it's been a long tradition at W&J that student leaders play a key role in ensuring that the college is the best possible place for you to live and to learn. In this spirit, our Student Government Association established a statement defining shared expectations and mutual accountability in our student community. All of you have become familiar with it. We talked about it together last week when I was with you. This statement's published in today's program as well. I'm proud to say that this is a college where students hold one another accountable to high standards of personal and academic integrity. At W&J, we also strive to make decisions with input from your elected representatives in the Student Government Association. It's my good fortune to work collaboratively with your student body president, Joey Aioli. Joey's a psychology major with an emphasis in HR management, that's human resources, and a dual minor in marketing and conflict and resolution studies. In addition to serving as president of your student government, his campus involvement has included playing on the men's tennis team and serving as an aide to Professor Richard Easton. He's a member of the Alpha Lambda Delta Honor Society and the Psi Chi Psychology Honor Society. This is his senior year, and he plans to pursue a career in human resources, specifically employee relations. It's an honor to introduce you to President Aioli as he comes to the lectern to welcome you and to invite you to collectively affirm our statement of community values.
Good afternoon. 3 years ago, I sat exactly where you all sit now. This freezing air in this room gave me goosebumps on the back of my neck, and I looked around at unfamiliar faces like Dr. Klein had mentioned. As I listened to our student government president, Haley Hess, give her address, I felt something spark within me. I knew in that moment that I wanted to stand where she stood, to make a difference, and to leave my mark on this amazing campus. Now, as you embark on your own journey at W&J, I want to encourage you all to find your deep-rooted desire to accomplish something extraordinary. Whether it's excelling in academics or dominating on the field or creating art that resonates with others, you have a responsibility to answer that call with passion and dedication. But allow me to share some senior wisdom. This morning, I was fortunate enough to reunite with my 4th grade teacher, Mr. Christopher George from Eisenhower Elementary School. And he reminded me of something that he told me when I was just 10 years old, going through his class. He told me, Joe, don't do the minimal effort. Don't do the minimal effort. As a 10-year-old, I'm thinking, what does that even mean? That's a word too big for me. But what I've come to realize, especially at my time at W&J, that not doing the minimal effort is even more prevalent now than it was ever in my life. Your families have raised you well, imparting you with the skills and values that have shaped you into the individuals sitting here today. But now, it's your turn to choose who you want to become. Will you give the minimal effort, or will you strive for greatness? While I stand before you as the 53rd Student Government President, I assure you I am no different than any other 21-year-old college senior still trying to figure it out. So allow me to let you in on a little secret that I've learned. Your life is about to get so much better. Whether it be living independently, moving to a new area, or being able to do whatever you want every single day, you will have every opportunity at your disposal. But if there's one thing I hope you take away from my speech today, it's this: embrace the present and do not wish it away. Just like many of you, I was once dreaming of going to college and getting to live independently. I wished more than anything to graduate high school and move on to my next phase. However, once I settled into college life and I got adjusted to it, I was already thinking about my next dream. Too often, we think of our lives as rigid blocks instead of a fluid experience. We envision milestones to be crossed one after another, believing that each achievement will bring us this ultimate sense of satisfaction. But what I've come to realize is that life is not a series of fixed destinations, but it's an ongoing, ever-evolving journey. College is just one of those chapters in the grand story of our lives, and while it does hold tremendous value, it's essential that we embrace the ever-changing nature of our day-to-day experiences. As we discover new knowledge and opportunities, we must remember that personal growth is not confined to the walls of a lecture hall or the boundaries of a campus. It's easy to get caught up in the hustle of college life, running from comms to class to practice, back to comms. We find ourselves fixated on internships, career prospects, and this pursuit of success. But it's crucial that we remind ourselves that true fulfillment lies not only in the destination, but in the moments that shape us along the way. So take a step back, savor the little victories, enjoy the late-night conversations with your friends, the hours you'll spend studying for finals, and the setbacks that will teach you resilience. Let go of this notion that success is defined by a rigid timeline or a specific set of achievements. Instead, focus on the process of learning, growing, and discovering who you will become. Embrace the twists and the turns, the unexpected detours, for they will often lead you to the most profound of experiences. So, class of 2027, as you embark on this exciting chapter, remember that life's most valuable lessons are not learned in the pursuit of a rigid plan, but in the exploration of the unknown. On behalf of the entire W&J student body, welcome to this incredible adventure. Thank you. I will now read to you our peer-to-peer affirmation of community values. These values were established by the Student Government Association on behalf of the students of Washington and Jefferson College. The mission of Washington and Jefferson College is to graduate men and women of uncommon integrity, competence, and maturity, who are effective, lifelong learners and responsible citizens, and who are prepared to contribute substantially to the world in which they live. To this end, the college promotes the development of skills, knowledge, personal qualities, and a worldview that characterizes a well-educated person. As students at W&J, we hold each other to a standard to achieve uncommon integrity as individuals and as a community. In order to thrive and excel, we expect that individuals within our community will promote a culture of respect throughout the college community, respect the privacy, property, and freedom of others, practice personal and academic integrity and expect it from others, respect the dignity and work of all individuals, promote the diversity of opinions, ideas, and backgrounds of others. In joining the W&J community, you are asked to adopt these tenets for yourself and for your peers. The college motto, Juncta Juvant, Together We Thrive, embodies the expectation that we hold ourselves and our peers to a standard of responsibility, excellence, and integrity. I ask that you all now please rise in affirmation of this statement. Thank you. You may be seated.
Wow, sometimes you come to things and you think beforehand, I'll be glad when that's over with. This has not been one of those times for me. Maybe you had a terrible time. I had a really good time and heard some good wisdom. Just briefly, I mentioned Matthew Brown. Our church, named for Matthew Brown, has a Matthew Brown Fellowship. And after you finish your freshman year, if your grade point's high enough, you can apply to be part of this group of people, and they're wonderful people. I've had the opportunity to be with like 15 groups of seniors that graduated from here. And the reason I bring it, hello, we did readjust it, but I'm glad you did. Oh, by the way, don't forget your cell phones when you leave. The reason I bring this up is one of the questions that we ask graduating seniors at the end of every year as they're getting ready to go to the graduation ceremony is, so what was best about your W&J experience? And one of the things I want you to hear from satisfied customers, satisfied students, is time and time again, they say that one of the strongest parts of this college experience has been the faculty. You've heard a great professor, and this room is filled with lots of them. And what they say to me is, if I'd have gone to a great big school like some of my friends did, in lecture halls with hundreds of people, I would not have had the experience I did with people who were able to be mentors and coaches and advocates of my life. So don't be afraid to get to know these people. It's a wonderful faculty, and you're blessed to have it. Speaking of blessed, I'm going to do this blessing thing, which goes like this. I'm afraid to let go of this mic now. May the class of 2027 and all of us be blessed with inquisitive minds, eager to find knowledge, insights, and possibilities. May we be blessed with good questions and intriguing answers that stretch us beyond our own safe, familiar, predictable boundaries. May we be blessed with caring hearts and receptive ears, and may we have the courage to be ourselves as we accept others for who they are too. May we be blessed with unexpected challenges and beneficial opportunities that help us to become more capable and confident than we already are. May we be blessed with resources, both seen and unseen resources, that give us exactly what we need, precisely when we need it. May we be blessed with new friendships as we continue to remember friends and family who have brought us safely and successfully to where we are now. May the coming year offer the blessings of good work and good times as we celebrate the precious gift of life. And finally, may you, the class of 2027, be richly blessed so that you may be blessings to others today, tomorrow, and always. In the name of God and all that is holy, amen.
He fixed it for you. All right, yeah. Thank you, Dr. Smith. This ceremony will conclude with our traditional recessional as students and faculty proceed back over across campus to Old Main. There we will pause outside of Old Main to hear the bell atop the towers toll 3 times, honoring the memory of our 3 founders, Presbyterian ministers John McMillan, Thaddeus Dodd, and Joseph Smith. Students, you will then individually enter the lobby of Old Main, where Dean Chatterjee Sutton and Dean Frick will welcome you and present your college pin. I will then greet you as you walk across the college seal. Upon crossing the college seal, you will have officially entered this distinguished community of learners whose stories echo through the reaches of time to 1781. In a moment, as we adjourn this location, the faculty will exit first, followed by the class of 2027 and our other new students. All the remaining guests should just wait until the last student is exited, and then you may exit as well. Now, to conclude this matriculation ceremony, our student vocalists will lead us in the Washington and Jefferson alma mater, first sung here in 1902. Will you please all stand if you are able and join in the singing? The words are in your program.
This concludes the matriculation ceremony for the class of 2027.
you.